Hello, everyone. Do you want to have more impact as a speaker? Well, you need to tune in because that's exactly what you're going to learn about today. How to have more impact when you are speaking. Hi, I'm Lisa Vanderquek, the CEO and founder of Speak to Transform Academy. I know that one of the areas that women entrepreneurs are very focused on is impacting people's lives, especially if you are a kingdom minded woman entrepreneur. You want to have a great impact. You don't want to just get up and speak. You want to change people's lives. Let me know in the comments if that's true for you. I know that's true for me. But at the end of the day, you also need to generate income. And we're going to talk about that part in a later training. But today, let's talk about how you can have more impact as a speaker. Maybe you're already speaking. Maybe you've been putting yourself out there, delivering your message or messages, and are just not seeing the results you want. Maybe you walk away feeling like, how do I get my audience more engaged? How do I have a greater impact on the people who are listening? Well, these are some questions that are important for you to answer if you want to become a great speaker. If you want to be a speaker who is sought out and booked over and over. But not only that, one who actually changes people's lives, make an impact. And there's some very key tweaks that you can make. Sometimes it doesn't take a whole lot, but knowing what they are is really important. I once heard someone say, small tweaks leads to higher peaks. And that is true if you are making the right tweaks. So let's get started here. The first thing that you need to understand if you want to be able to have more impact as a speaker is that you need to use less words for more impact. Now, I know that might be contrary to what you've been taught, but the truth is, less words have more impact when they are spoken intentionally and strategically. When you understand how words impact your listener. There was a study done several years ago when I was training as a speech language pathologist, and it's been repeated over and over a number of times, and they have come out with the same results each time. And the study was looking at what are the factors that influence your listeners' perception of you to see you as believable, confident, and trustworthy. Wouldn't that be important to know as a speaker? What are the things that actually influence your listeners' perception of you? Well, here's what they came out with. This is the results that came out over and over. It was based on 3 different areas of communication. One is the words you say. The second area, the sounds that come out of your mouth. When you speak, those are both the good sounds and the sounds you don't like, such as ums and ahs, those filler words. Do you know anybody who does a lot of that? We all have to work on that. The third area was what they called physical intelligence, or your body language is a huge part of that. But it's more than body language, and they call it physical intelligence, your presence, how you show up in your body, what your body is saying while you are speaking. Now, can you guess which one had a greater influence on your listeners' perception of you? If you guessed the physical part, you're absolutely correct. It's 55%. Has a 55% influence over your listeners' perception of you. What that means is what they see in their body, what's going on there, and what they feel in your presence immediately influences their perception of you. And these are like split-second judgments that are happening in the brain. The scientists say there's like 176 that are going off in the brain at any given time. These are called unconscious biases. And they are just something that relay messages to a person when they come in contact with another person. So 55%. So that's a large number. Don't you think that would be important? Yes. The second area were the sounds that came out of your mouth. Those are the sounds such as the fillers. I talked about those negative. They have a negative influence. So the sounds that come out of your mouth are 38% influence over your listener's perception of you. The sounds could be in the melody, the volume, the pace, all of those elements too that make up the parameters of how you use your voice. But the last one, the words, were 7%, only 7%. Now, why is it that most people spend 99.9% of their time crafting the right words and trying to deliver the right words when it only has a 7% influence? Yes, words are important, but as these studies show, they are not as important as the other elements of communication, such as your voice, the emotion that you convey with your voice, how you use this instrument, and your body language. And not only your body language, but how you show up, how you look, how you take care of yourself, all of those things. So when you use less words, but communicate in a 360 manner, I like to say 360 communication, then you will be able to have a far greater impact if you choose the right words, but not to the detriment of it being too many words, but you're not focused on the words so much as the full aspect of communication. And this feeds into the next one. The second thing you need to understand is to aim for connection, not perfection. What do I mean by that? Again, many speakers, and I will just say women speakers because this is a common thing that happens, a common trait, is you just want to give a perfect presentation. You want to give a perfect presentation, and so you have words that you've written down, and many women struggle with staying their eyes on the words or staying true to the words that they've written down, not wanting to miss anything. But what that does is it actually hinders your connection with your listener. Have you ever listened to or watched a speaker like that who were so glued to their notes? They kept speaking, they kept looking down at their notes and didn't make eye contact with you? How did you feel? Well, for most, you feel disconnected because the eyes, again, the body language, the eyes are an important part of connection. But also, you need to be free to be able to engage with your listener. So being focused on getting the right words perfectly is actually going to hinder your impact because it hinders your connection. And communication is all about connection. So the third one is focus on transformation. Again, most speakers, most women speakers that I work with are focused on giving information, all the knowledge that they have. They think, well, I just want to give it all away. I just want to give as much as I can in a short amount of time that I have. And that's very noble of you because you're a giving person. We all want to be generous and give. But let me tell you a secret that actually does your audience a disservice because your audience walks away overwhelmed. It's like going into a smorgasbord, a place where you can have all you can eat. If you just go in and gorge, how's it going to feel? It's going to feel like, oh man, I should have just had less. I would have been feeling much better and would have been better for my body. So when you overload your listener, you actually give them too much to process, too much content. They can't process it properly. And so because of that, it doesn't stay. So focusing on transformation brings into fact those two elements I already talked about as well, where you focus on your audience. You're focusing on what's in it for them. What can I say that's going to help them have a shift in their heart, in their mind, in their actions? So you're not so much focused on helping them to attain more knowledge. Because let's face it, we can get knowledge anywhere, right? Go with a click a button on the internet, we can find as much knowledge as we need. But now transformation, that's the stuff that makes a difference in people's lives. That's what changes the world. That's what changes people's lives when they have a shift. And one of the best ways that you can engage or in such a way that you focus on transformation is the connection piece. But in that, being able to bring out choice stories where your listener begins to see themselves in the story. and begins to become aware of maybe where they are, can't even talk right now, where they already are and where they want to be and what needs to happen for them to make that shift. And also, it creates a desire to make that shift. So, stories, again, told well and strategic, help to bring about a transformation. So, I hope that's been helpful for you. Let me know in the comments, what is your biggest takeaway from this in helping you to have more impact as a speaker? Now, if you want to learn on a regular basis and implement some of these tools, if you want more tools, if you love what you're hearing, I want to invite you to go to speakingtipsforwomen.com. Let me see if I can create it right here on the fly. Didn't have this on the go. Speakingtipsforwomen.com, and you can pick up my free Speak with Impact toolkit that will give you tips that you can implement every day for the next year. Not every day, every week. Well, you can implement every day if you want, but you're going to get one a week, and you're also going to get some training that I have there and helping you to become a more impactful speaker. Speakingtipsforwomen.com, and pick up a free toolkit that will help you to have a much greater impact as a speaker. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope this has been helpful. Let me know what is your greatest takeaway, and be sure to subscribe whatever channel you're listening to, and let me know what is your biggest area of struggle when it comes to speaking. What would you like to improve and tweak to help you to become the speaker that you're called to? And let me know, and I'll be sure and add that to my list of trainings so that I can help you become the kind of speaker that you're called to and reach all the people that are waiting to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.